y'all. So all kinds of news for you. Today I went and got my pheresis done, and if you're not familiar with pheresis, what they do is they have two lines hooked into you, and one draws your blood out, and then it separates whatever it is they're separating. In my case, they were collecting my T cells. So it sent those into a bag and then sent everything else back into my body. However, my it's a central line, got clogged, so they had to do some sort of medication that dissolves clots. So it added a whole half hour or so onto my already 5-hour procedure. So I got to sit there, actually dozed off quite a bit while they did all my cells. So that wasn't too fun. But what was interesting is, right now my cells are on their way to New Jersey to get genetically modified. So they'll be ready to come back and fight this cancer. Hopefully. That's the goal, of course. And I did find out there's a few more side effects or possible side effects, because this is a trial. So I am participating in it willingly, because truthfully I'm kind of running out of options. So I thought, my CAR T lasted for a couple months last time I did it. Hopefully I'll get a little more time out of this one and they'll get some good data. I found out today when I was talking with the trial coordinator that I am actually the only person in the St. Louis area who is qualified for this trial, because they have certain criteria. You have to have had this procedure but it didn't work, and this treatment that it didn't work, but not this one, kind of different stuff. And apparently a lot of people here don't fit that at this time. So I know I do have some people in some of my Facebook groups who are participating in this particular trial. So it'll be interesting to see how our notes compare, so to speak, because some of the additional things is you can wind up with mouth sores and lack of taste and lack of appetite. And I discussed before about losing your fingernails and your toenails. I did find this bag balm. My nurse practitioner told me that she's heard really good reviews, because there are some other treatments where you lose your fingernails and toenails, or they're messed up or whatever. Anyway, she's heard good things about it. They make something called Polybalm also, but it's about 6 times more than this. So I figured, I'm a little cheap. So I figured we'd try the cheaper. And if I lose them, that'll just be sad. And, I have a video on here where I'm actually crying because I lost my hair with my last treatment. It was the chemo before my treatment that they gave me chemo to try to knock my numbers down before I got my last CAR T procedure. And that's what made me lose my hair. And it's not necessarily a vanity thing, it's more because, people who have multiple myeloma don't necessarily look sick. I've lost about 40 pounds, but to be honest, I could have used to lose the 40 pounds. So I don't look that much different, a little looser some places. But, I don't look like what you typically think of when people have cancer. So losing my hair or losing my fingernails is a physical manifestation that I'm sick. So, fatigue, not being able to, I have to call my son to come and carry a case of water in for me because I just don't have the strength to do it. I am short of breath, but those are also things that happen when you have the flu or a cold or something like that that's not long term. And so it's really hard sometimes, I kind of placate myself with that, other sick people have this happen too. The difference is mine's not going to go away. I feel pretty good now. I'm not short of breath or anything. I will probably be. I know I will be after I have my next procedure again, where walking to the bathroom will have me huffing and puffing. Taking showers, I have to sit on the toilet to dry off because I don't have the energy, the stamina to take a shower, dry off, and get dressed. I have to take it in stages, and it really sucks. But that being said, last Wednesday I got my central line put in. They bruised me pretty good, even though I stopped taking my blood thinner. And these things are really nice when you're getting poked a lot. You know, I had one day I got 2 IVs, and you know, I have good veins, but it hurts after a while. So this will save me from that. I'm thinking of naming it. So if you have a really great name for a central line, would you put it in the comments, and I might use one of your ideas, because I'm going to have it at least a month, probably longer. I should find out at the end of the week when I will be getting my cells back. So then I will go in for my 3 days of chemo. It's called lymphodeletion, and what it does is it makes room in my bone marrow to reintroduce the cells so that they can do their job. But I'll find that out at the end of the week. And let's see what else. So I had my bone marrow biopsy. In my last video, I had to postpone it because I didn't know I wasn't supposed to take my Eliquis, you know, to create bleeding. And I had a friend who came to visit me from Arizona, and part of what she got to do, lucky her, is she got to go to some of my doctor's appointments with me. Yay! That's a good friend. Anyway, with my bone marrow biopsy, I usually get sedation. So I drove there, and then she drove back. Now, the day before she got here from Arizona, we got about 10 inches of snow. And St. Louis is not equipped to handle that kind of snow, particularly all at one time. So the roads were crap. We did okay getting there. Matter of fact, even up until, last week still, some of the roads that I have to take to get to the hospital for treatment or whatever, we're down to 1 lane still. They hadn't plowed, and then we got ice, and it's just been a nightmare. But anyway, I drove to my biopsy, and then she had to drive afterwards. So we went out to lunch at an Italian place, which was very yummy. And then we decided we were going to try to find the arch. So, I mean, finding the arch is not a big deal. It's a big, it's huge. So it's not like you can miss it. But when I had last gone there, they had a parking garage assigned for the arch. So we went driving around trying to find this parking garage on the snow-covered cobblestone streets of the Landing, which is, old St. Louis, where they used to have warehouses and whatnot. Piles of snow, not really knowing where we're going. It was a mess. So we decided to come home. We put on flannel jammies and fuzzy socks and sat and watched Hallmark movies. Excuse me. Right now it is bitterly cold. It's supposed to be warming up in a couple of days, thank goodness. It was like 0, -0, something like that when I was driving to go get my blood test this morning. I had to be there at 7, which, if you know me, that's really early for me. I used to get up that early when I had to work, so I had time I'd get up at 5, so I had time to read my Bible and have a relaxing morning and do my devotions and a cup of coffee and, take my time getting ready. But I haven't worked in a long time, so it was tough. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty rough. And I forgot that many people are on the road at 6:30 in the morning. I thought I'd be like cruising along all by myself, especially on a holiday, because today is Martin Luther King Day. So tomorrow I start my new chemo. They call it bridging therapy. It's between getting my cells harvested to try to get my numbers down, my cancer cell numbers down, before I get my cells back, or at least to maintain them. So I start that tomorrow. One of the chemo drugs I'll be taking reportedly has bad side effects, so I'm kind of nervous about that. my doctor did say that they do a lower dosage than was originally recommended because they found success with it, and not as many side effects. So I'm hoping that's what happens. Typically what happens when I'm getting chemo or some kind of treatment is I'm out for like 2 days. I'm sick, I'm throwing up, I'm running fever, I'm just miserable. And then I start to feel better just in time to do it again the next week. So it's very frustrating, but it is what it is, and hopefully it will get me down so I'm ready. It should be about 4 weeks. She said they're averaging 3 to 4 weeks for turnaround time. So fingers crossed. I should actually have a summer this year because the last couple of years I've been in recovery, and the year before that I was having some personal mess. Separating from my husband and the hot mess that creates. So anyway, hopefully I'll have a summer. I'll be able to garden and all that good stuff. That's my hope. And the timing might work out perfectly. Anyway, I want to thank you if you've been praying for me. I so appreciate it. I think that's part of why I have such positive attitude. I get a lot of people have said that to me, and I do very much appreciate it. I don't know what else to do. I don't know how else to be. I mentioned at one point if I could throw a fit on the floor, kicking and screaming, and things would be better, I would. But it's not a choice. So I just thank God for every day I have, and all the many blessings He gives me, and some of them are you. So I hope you have an amazing, blessed day, week, month, year, and keep on keeping on. Love you.